Let's talk about the international organizations, because clearly this week is also seeing a virtual IMF meeting. So what's your message to the global scene?
The most important is that we understand that this is a pandemic that is hitting the whole world. So we have to give support to the least developed countries, to those countries who have the highest debts and need support for fighting against the situation. And this is what we did in the G20 and G7 meetings in the past, and we have to continue with this. And this is also what we have to discuss within the IMF. And there are already a lot of very successful initiatives. The most important of them are about debt suspension. And I think we have to continue with this work, and we have to convince all the parties involved that they are solving the problem. So it is not enough if the countries of the Paris Club are doing this. It must be something which is supported also by all these countries that are now important creditors who are not working within the Paris Club, and private sector involvement is necessary as well.
We've seen more solidarity inside Europe driven by the crisis or the pandemic. Do you think also it needs more solidarity on the global level so that richer countries do subsidize the poor?
I think there is a very solidaric activity in Europe, as you say, and this is really important because it's a difference to the last crisis. And we see that the fact that Europe is acting together is really helping the economy just by announcing it. We are doing it, but it's also helping because anyone understands that Europe is able to fight against the crisis. And this is the right understanding we should have if we look at the global level. Yes, there is international solidarity necessary, and we are very much supporting it. May it be the question of health support which is necessary. It will be important if we discuss about the questions whether vaccines are open to anyone in the world who needs the support. And it's also important if we discuss about support for those countries who have very severe debt problems.
You're saying that Europe has shown more solidarity. Some people are also arguing that this crisis has actually made Europe stronger on the global level because it has shown that it can work together. Would you say that as well?
I very much support the idea that Europe is stronger and will go stronger out of the crisis because we acted together. And there is also a very important improvement in the European Union, which we can see now. When we have this European debt, which will be necessary for the European Union to support member states that need the support. And this will create a difference because having this sovereign debt of the European Union is not just having it, it's also about paying it back, and it's about having European own resources which make it possible that the European Union has a fiscal capacity to act. And this is, I think, the real moment producing a better union. And my view is that this is possibly the so-called Hamiltonian moment of the European Union.
And let's talk also about when the money is actually going to be paid out, because clearly there has been a lot of talk and of course also agreement on the rescue package. But when do you think the money will actually reach the target?
I'm quite optimistic that we will have a chance to solve all the problems this year so that the money will be used right from the beginning of the next year. We know that the usual procedures for taking legal decisions in Europe are taking more time as we have up to the end of this year. But if there is a special situation, you have to be different. And this is what we are working on.
Does it also help that Germany is having the EU presidency in that respect?
We are working very hard as EU president to make all the necessary decisions happen. And we are intensely trying to convince anyone that this is the time for compromise.